Hey you guys, what's up and welcome back to Two Toe Tags and Metal Reviews, and today we're going to have first impressions of the new albums from Killswitch Engage and Scour. So we're checking out two albums today. Both of these bands we've covered on the channel before. One of them had an album review, which was Killswitch Engage. We reviewed Atonement back in 2019, I believe. We both gave it decent scores, but not great.
Generally favorable. I gave it a 6.5, he gave it a 6.
Yeah, so generally favorable, decent scores. And Scour, we reacted to them twice. We reacted to Blades and Infusorium. Both of which blew our socks off when we checked them out.
100%.
So I guess let's just continue with Scour.
All right.
The album's called Gold. And if anybody doesn't know, it features Phil Anselmo on vocals. And he sounds fucking nasty.
Oh yeah.
This is some of the nastiest metal vocals that I've heard in a long time. And, you know, people like to talk about this vocalist, that vocalist. Everybody's got their own opinion. For me, this shit is hitting the money. Phil sounds so disgusting. His harshes, his gutturals, just pure evil, demonic stuff. I was all over it the whole time.
And it's especially impressive because he's not really known for that.
He's not really known for it,
That's kind of like one of the, the album's good, but it's also like, that's Phil?
Yeah.
He sounds great.
Yeah. So he should have been doing this the whole time, is what I've been saying. He's been on the wrong boat doing other stuff. I guess not. He's pretty famous with Pantera and his other projects too. Been a busy guy.
This is also their first LP. Everything else they've done is either standalone singles or just EPs.
That's right. So it's nice to see that. It's a 37-minute long album, 13 tracks. And we'll get into the lows in a minute, I'm sure. But I'm just gonna say, this album's full of evil-sounding riffs. It's full of cool drum parts. Like I said, the vocals are just nasty. So track number 5, for example, Coin, which we talked about, and I know TV Fish said he likes the solo. I made a note for the solo in this song as well. It's a wild, awesome solo.
Oh, yeah.
There's an awesome little drum thing at the intro. The growl in the intro is sick. Awesome track. That went into the playlist. Bam, it's in. Like a coin dropping in a vending machine. Done. Right, give me the candy. Invoke, track number 10. This is pure evil, satanic black metal. If that's your vibe, you will come listening to this song. It is so fucking nasty.
But the whole album is like that.
The whole album is like that, and that's one of the faults. Okay, if you want to talk about faults, there's two big ones on this album. One of them is repetitive nature, right? Every song is awesome, but every song sounds kind of the same. It's like they're backing off each other and they're all doing the same awesome things, which makes it very repetitive, which is not the greatest thing.
Yeah, it's consistently strong, but you get to a point where you're thinking, okay,
do something new.
I've heard this.
Yeah, let's try something else.
They did this awesome thing already. Why are they doing the exact same thing?
So to kind of, I think, an attempt to counterbalance that ended up being the second major downfall of this album. And that's 3 interludes, which are all about 2 minutes long, and they're all basically just ambience and noises and weird
creepy sounds
and stuff. I honestly believe that they were put in there as a counterbalance to the rest of the album. Yes, they do break up the pace. They do, create divide amongst all this chaos, but they go nowhere. They do nothing. If you had one of them in the album and maybe cut out a few tracks, you could have had something a lot stronger, in my opinion. Yeah, man, it sucks, but there's so much good stuff here, but it's just weighted down by these things.
The interlude tracks, they serve a purpose and they properly serve their purpose. However, I feel that the execution could have been a little bit better because all 3 of them are 2 minutes long. They're all basically the same type of thing. There's one kind of in the beginning-ish, there's one right in the middle, and then there's one near the end. And I feel that you could have probably cut a few tracks from the album because a lot of them do similar things. So it's like, okay, they don't need to be there. And then either have one unchanged of the 3 in the middle, or cut 2 of them down to half, so a minute each, and have one in the first kind of third and one in the near the end. I feel like either of those would have been able to still do the same, serve the same purpose, but do it more effectively.
Yeah.
There are a few tracks that, I mean, you already talked about Coin. I agree. That solo just blew my mind when I heard it. Now, the 2 singles are both really good, but I kind of got to a point when I was listening to this record that I felt, you know what? If you hear those 2 singles, you've heard basically what this album has to offer.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, not to say repetition is a hallmark of black metal, but that kind of style and just going, just that's us, that's it. Blah.
Yeah.
That's what it's known for. Now with this album, it's interesting because yes, it did for me feel a bit repetitive as it went, but it's still consistently strong. The songs are still good. I could have just thrown on a song like, I don't know, Hell, and been like, yeah, this is sick.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, a lot of stuff is kind of similar. I liked the title track. That was one that stood out to me as well. I liked that you had that tremolo background of that kind of sonic texture there. And I wish there was maybe a little bit more stuff like that, because what we mentioned when we were reacting to the singles, it's like, wow, they're kind of touching upon multiple different versions of black metal. You're getting stuff that sounds like the old school kind of like basement quality, even though this is not basement quality, it's actually quite polished. But you're getting that style of black metal.
Yeah.
But you're also getting stuff that's more on the extreme side.
Stuff that's more refined.
And then stuff, I feel like they did play into a few of them, and I feel like the album could have been a little bit more diverse in terms of the execution that way.
Fair.
You know, like more songs could have played to that. Have a song that sounds more on the symphonic side. Not saying get like a whole ass orchestra or anything.
Yeah, but at least try a little bit just to make it stand out a bit.
Have one remind people of that style of black metal.
Yeah.
Because then as a concept, this album would be like, wow, this is everything that's cool about black metal in one album. But I do think they do touch upon that. I just wish they did it a bit more.
I mean, there is stuff in there, like, if you listen to Phil's vocals, I made this thing before, he reminds me of Shagrath when he's singing a lot of these parts, and that Dimmu Borgir is more of that symphonic or orchestral style of black metal. So you're kind of getting reminded of it in a way, but not in a musical way, it's more of a vocal way.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, though. They could have added a few little things here and there just to make some songs stand out amongst others, because they all kind of just have the same ingredients to them. They're just baked differently.
Exactly. So it's good. I feel like I can speak for both of us saying, yeah, we both enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it had a few faults too.
Yeah. And just one thing, so if you remember back when we reacted to Infesorium, I was mentioning that the lyrics at the end when he was saying heads twisted backwards, and then I couldn't make out the next, he's saying facing up. He's saying heads twisted backwards, facing up, which I think is cool, because I just picture this like field of dead bodies with all their necks broken and they're all face down, but their heads are facing up. Just a brutal image. Anyways, moving along. This Consequence by Killswitch Engage. Did we react to anything from this? I do not recall.
We reacted to one song.
Which one was it?
Forever Aligned.
Forever Aligned, okay. I know a couple of them sounded familiar, but I did listen to a bit of Killswitch before this album came out, and I knew they played some of the newer songs in the playlist I had on. So either way, I've never been the hugest Killswitch fan, just putting that out there. Like we said, Atonement, it got, a 6 for me. And, there's a few songs that they have, and I think they're kind of like the crowd pleasers, like My Curse, and what's the other one? This Is Heartache, I think.
End of Heartache.
End of Heartache, yeah, right. There's a couple like the bangers, the crowd pleasers. Those are the ones that I like too. I'm just that kind of Killswitch fan, if you want to say that. So this album, I started playing this album, and I'm immediately like, okay, yeah, the riffs are banging. Like, never go wrong with the riffs. Songs are fine. Clean singing is like kind of okay. I'm like, all right, gotta get used to whatever. And then it gets to around track 6. It's a 10-track album, just putting that out there. Around track 6 is where the album just starts going, holy fuck. And that's called Where It Dies. Just nasty grooves. The riffs just amplify in quality and awesomeness. And then after that, you have just a string of songs that were just blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Collusion, The Fall of Us, Broken Glass, Requiem. The whole second half of the album, banger, 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 banger. It's on fucking fire. They're dropping nukes. It's radioactive. There's all kinds of shit happening, and I couldn't believe it. Once the album starts looping again, I listened to it a few times. The first half started sounding better. Now that I was warmed up in Killswitch mode.
Killswitch has engaged.
Killswitch has engaged. The first half of the album started sounding juicy to me as well. Not as good still, but holy crap, man. I just want to talk. So the highlight song for me on my first impression is Collusion, track number 7. This one, I don't know if you'll agree with it. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I thought it sounded a lot like Gojira. Okay, so it had that vibe. Went into the playlist immediately. There's some nice growling in there. Just such a well-written, well-crafted song. It's got the clean vocals, but they're not done in a kind of like, I hate to say it, but whiny way. That's my issue with metalcore vocals when they're clean, is I don't like the whiny stuff. Killswitch does a lot of the whiny stuff, but this song does it not whiny. So I'm like, yes, those are the kind of clean vocals I like. But yeah, what a sick song. Broken Glass is sick. The outro track Requiem was also really good. They got lots of blast beats in there. There's just cool. They play around with tempo, down tempoing. They got slower, heavier blast beats like in Broken Glass. Somewhat progressive. I'm just reading off my notes here. I'm kind of a bit all over the place, but it was just giving me that feeling where I was just kept going, holy shit, this is cool. Holy shit, that's cool. And yeah, I warmed up to it pretty quick. I went into it thinking I was gonna be like, okay, this is fine. And I'm cranking it in the car on the way home. Like, cranking it. Good stuff.
I had a pretty similar experience listening to this album for the first time. And I went in thinking like, yeah, this album's probably gonna be fine. Forever Aligned, when we reacted to it, like after hearing it, it kind of reminded me of the reaction of like, yeah, there's aspects that like I thought were pretty good. But then for some reason, my opinion kind of shifted after that reaction to like, yeah, I guess it was fine.
Yeah.
But then, so then that was kind of like how I was kind of thinking coming into the album. But then after hearing that song again, it actually is pretty good. The other single, main one that had a video, which we did not react to, is called I Believe. I'm kind of glad we didn't, because I don't think either of us would have really been into it.
Yeah, it's probably the weakest song on the album right now. It's right in the middle though. And it's kind of that mid-album breather, that mid-album bridge. And I think it serves a purpose in that sense that way. So
like, I guess, but you know what? Yeah, that's a good point, especially considering what happens in the second half. But when I first heard that song, I kind of thought to myself, this sounds like it could kind of have been a B-side from Atonement. That was the impression I got as a first impression. But that second half, oh my God. Okay, Collusion. It's funny because I wrote like, oh, I want to say this riff reminds me of something. And I'll have to listen to it again with thinking about Gojira to see if that's kind of what it is. I wrote, is this something that Ingested would do? And I know that's kind of a weird comparison, but that was just the only thing that kind of came to my mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking like more like song structure and song like.
Regarding that, then yes.
Yeah.
Because also considering that the chorus is in 7/4, which is really, really cool. They make that groove.
That's why I said it sounds progressive. There's like.
And Gojira would definitely do something like that.
They would definitely do something like that, exactly.
Now, let's see if you can, let's see if this one makes sense. The bridge of this song is like a slower version of the bridge from Surfacing by Slipknot.
I have to hear it again. Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, no, doesn't ring the bell?
Well, I don't remember I don't remember the songs like that.
Okay,
it's not stuck in my head. Like I can't hear it right now.
Yeah, but it's like you listen to that part of Surfacing, and then you listen to the bridge from this song, and it's like a slow version of that. I'm like, what? This is Surfacing. What the hell? So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Fall of Us, like, is the old school stuff. That is the old school metalcore vibe. It like. When that song starts, I was thinking, is this a black metal band? What's going on?
It does.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's got the 6/8 chords as well. Super duper cool. You got the one-handed blast from the drums. There was a lot of very nice drumming performances on this record. Yeah. Like, especially throughout the second half. I'm like, wow, this guy's killing it. And I love that there's such a wide repertoire of chops that this drummer has for this record. That, you know, yeah, I can do the you know, one-handed blast or whatever, but also more groove-focused stuff. And I think it's huge as a player to be able to serve the song in any way possible.
Yes.
And I thought that was great. But yeah, the second half totally heated up. The last track, Requiem, it started, I'm like, did Lamb of God show up? What the hell? And that was the constant reaction from the second half. But it's not that the first half was really that bad, and I feel like the second half on my first listen overshadowed it a bit, but like it was a welcome surprise. I enjoyed the album overall a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah. So with that said, I think we both went into this week fully expecting to review Scour because we reacted to the two singles, they blew us away, and we were really looking forward to it. Plus, we've never reviewed Scour on the channel. It's their first LP.
It's their debut.
It's their debut. But we also discussed that Killswitch Engage kind of blew us away on our first impression here, and Scour left a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth for reasons that we've already talked about. So this Consequence is going to get the spins this week. We're going to review Killswitch Engage once again, and we're going to give them another chance to possibly get on the list. But so far, I think it's looking good because we're both pretty heated over this. I say heated. That usually means angry.
Yeah.
We're both pretty hyped over it, I should say. So we're going to listen to as much as we possibly can through the entire week, and we'll be back next week to give you guys our full and final review of the album. But for now, leave your thoughts down below and let us know what you guys think of these 2 new releases. Down below, let us know if you think we picked the right album. Do you like them? Nope, don't like them. Favorite tracks, all that fun stuff. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep those heads banging.